Quiet on set. Picture is up. All right, roll sound.
Rolling.
Roll cameras.
Cams rolling.
And 3, 2.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Hank's Think Tank. I got a good one for you today. We have Gisela Villareal in today, and she is running for the election to East Montgomery County Improvement District, position 7. She has two opponents, Martin Cepeda and Liz Mullane. Martin Cepeda is the incumbent in this race. Also, we're going to have a forum which is open to the public. It's going to be April the 19th at the EMCID Senior Center, and that's at Bull Salas Park in New Caney. Come as you are. Make sure and be there. You don't need to bring your voter registration card. You don't need to wear a black tie or nothing like that. Put shoes on if you can, and we expect to see you there. Welcome, Gisela. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Hank, for having me.
No problem. Fantastic. All right, so we'll dive in. It's going to be the standard question set that I've asked pretty much all the candidates. I might throw a left hook in there every once in a while, but we'll see. So one big question I think it's important for voters to know is, what was your decision to run for EMCID?
Yes, sir. So, Hank, I grew up in Southeast Houston over in the Gulfgate area, and I started working for HEB back in 2002, and it was during the revival of the Gulfgate Center. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm a native, man. I've been everywhere.
And I just remember the excitement that was felt in the neighborhood, in the community, with my coworkers when that area was, redeveloped. It was on the decline for many years, and it was such a special experience for me to be a part of that. I played a very small role. I was hired on as a bagger at HEB in 2002.
That's an important job.
It's a very important job.
Because if that's not done right, you bring home a bunch of mush.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want that.
Never put bread on the bottom.
No, sir.
So, there you go.
And I think that's really where, it sparked my interest. Economic development kind of sparked my interest in knowing how things of that nature just, can happen, and how it lifts the neighborhood up in so many ways. And here we are, we fast forward 20 years later, it's 2022, and
Man, it goes by quick.
So fast. And my husband and I have, moved to East Montgomery County. We live in Porter, and we're raising our girls here. We have two young daughters. And ultimately, it's really, I decided to run for EMCID because I want to, do my part in helping make this community the best that it can.
Okay.
I think EMCID does great work in the community, and I'm ready to put my experience to work and help where I can. Cool.
Yeah, they're a good organization. So how long have you lived out here?
So I've lived in Porter for 3 years. Previously to Porter, we lived in Humble.
Okay.
And we moved to the Oakhurst neighborhood, and we absolutely love it.
Yeah, Oakhurst is nice. Yeah, I like it out there. Okay, cool. And so you were in Gulfgate during the revitalization down there. So what kind of things did you see happen? I mean, is the mall still closed? Yeah,
so that was where the mall was. So I remember growing up with my parents and going to, I think there was like an Eckerd's there. And as a young kid going to, fill prescriptions, there was this really cool Gulfgate cinema on the opposite side. I think it was the south side of 610.
Okay.
And I remember going with my parents to go see The Lion King.
That's cool.
Yeah, and parking on the Gulfgate Mall side, and then taking the overpass to over 610. It was like 4 lanes back in the day.
Yeah.
And going to the movies, but right around the late 80s and early 90s, it just kind of came to a decline. And back around 2002, HEB was the first store that opened up to kind of revitalize the area, and it was so special.
Yeah, HEB is a great store.
Yeah.
They have such good deals there.
Absolutely.
Specialized foods. I mean, that's definitely the place to go.
Yeah, HEB is the place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, during that whole revitalization period, I mean, you stayed there the whole time and kind of watched things evolve and change. So that gave you a real good foothold on what economic development can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it was just the difference that it does in the economic footprint in the neighborhood was just so special. And the excitement that was felt and just in the air was awesome. Something I haven't experienced since then. So I'm looking forward to being a part of that here in East Montgomery County.
Wow. Okay, so you hired on at HEB as a bagger. I assume you're not a bagger anymore.
No, not anymore.
Yeah. So how long have you been with the company?
Yeah, so I've worked for HEB. In 3 weeks, it will be 20 years.
That's a good
I've
long
worked
time.
20 years. So I started off as a bagger, grand opening the Golf Gate store. And I just kind of grew from there. 2 months later, I became a cashier. And I was a cashier for about another 2 years before I was able to jump. I practically worked every department in the store. It wasn't until I was 18 and I was able to move around, operate a pallet jack so that I can move pallets from one area to another. But yeah, I worked in the beauty department, the photo lab. That was so special. I mean, those are non-existent anymore, but there's something so...
Those were the good old days.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, when you took your film in,
Yeah, the disposable camera, you had to break it apart and develop the pictures. That was so awesome. That's probably one of my favorites. But yeah, I worked in the seafood department, the bakery. I worked in the deli department. I can make some mean barbacoa tacos. So,
I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, I worked there and then I became a trainer. I was so passionate about HEB and how it's helped me grow. And, I was awarded scholarships that I stuck around. I stuck around, and it's a great company. It's got great culture. And I used the scholarship and I became a trainer. And I wanted to kind of spread the spirit of HEB across all of the other new hires that were brought on. And I did. I traveled just about as north as Nacogdoches, as south as Galveston, probably east as Orange, Texas, and Katy, and everywhere in between. And I've probably trained thousands of employees to onboard them into HEB. And I did that for all throughout college. And then when I graduated from college, I became the manager for training for the Houston area. Okay. So I led a team of anywhere between, at a time, 30 to 35 trainers that would go out and teach these courses in all HEBs in Houston, which was about over 100. And I helped grand open over, I'd say, 50 or 60 stores in the Houston area.
Wow. That's a lot of accomplishment there.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities that I've been so blessed to have. And now I actually work in learning technology. So I am a learning technology leader, and I help manage our educational application at HEB that over 100,000 employees use. And I lead a team of technical support as well.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. It's hard to manage people too.
Not my people. They're great. So we work so good together, and we're the synergy is fantastic. So it's a great gig. I love it.
Yeah, happy place to work.
Yes.
You don't find too many of those.
No, I mean, I've been there for 20 years, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, they must be. Okay. Well, you just answered my second question, which was what uniquely qualifies you for this position, but I think you kind of covered it.
Yeah,
so we'll just pass that one up.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so, let's talk a little bit about small business here in this community. So there's a lot of small businesses here that have been here for a long, long time. Right. And some of those aren't quite so evident either. Take ours, for example. We have a home office. We don't have any signage, but it's a viable company, and we've done well, and we've got some great clients. So what would your ideas be regarding small businesses where economic development's concerned? Do you have any ideas that you think you would bring to the board? And I know there's going to be a learning curve. I know it's going to take a while. Right. So it's not something you can go in first day and go, hey, here's what we're going to do from this point forward. But do you have any ideas at all that you think that you might be able to implement one day on the board?
Yeah, so I think there's always room for improvement, and I believe EMCID should be an ally, right, to our small businesses and
absolutely
to small businesses, organizations, and just the community in general. And small businesses are the heart and soul of a community, right? So they just kind of make our community what it is. What those ideas should be, Hank, I mean, it's easy for me to come out here and throw ideas left and right, but is that truly what they need? I don't know. So I'd be interested in pulling some of those small business owners and community leaders putting together some focus groups and really figuring out, what is it that, and where is it that EMCID could help, and kind of help bridge that gap. But I'm willing to put the work and go out there and meet with leaders and community leaders and small business owners to figure out what the right solution is.
Great. Yeah, because it seems like it's ever changing. So
yeah,
it is a moving target.
It is.
That's
and I
for
think,
sure.
Yeah, one thing to note too is that, EMCID is there's other things EMCID could do too, right, with their legislative authority. So beautification projects,
Right.
other, enhanced community events. Is there something that we can do to improve the scholarship? I mean, I'm open to all sorts of ideas, and I welcome them all. And I'm going to put myself out there to talk to these leaders and figure out what the right solution is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And, it's unfortunate, and I'm not saying anything bad about East Montgomery County, because this is a great place to live, but we really could use some beautification projects.
Yeah.
And maybe even some parks and some additional green spaces. I know there's a lot of forest out here, and that's probably considered green space, but is it really usable by the average person? Not really.
Right. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, so we could do a lot to make this a more consolidated community. And right now, I think it's kind of split up because it's all small municipalities and areas in between. But somebody who could help to consolidate all that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Really
and
good.
I'm up for it.
Great. Okay, so right now there aren't any board term limits. And so what are your thoughts on term limits? And everybody kind of has a different idea, but what does Gisela think?
So I'm open to term limits. I believe organizations benefit from change and new ideas. And, what specifically those term limits should be, I just can't say right now, right? But more importantly, we shouldn't wait for term limits to come up for changes to happen. Right. If there's, board members that aren't performing, that's what we have our democratic process for. Let's put it into action and let's, go out there and every vote counts and every vote matters. It's particularly in these local elections. They matter so much more.
Oh, yeah.
And it's up to us to go out there and vote. But yeah, I'm definitely open to it.
There you go. Awesome. Okay. So in regards to grants. Right now, there's a $5,000 cap on grants that are provided by EMCID. And I know that in certain situations, that's kind of circumvented to a certain degree. But I think majorly there's a $5,000 cap on grants. So do you think the cap should be increased, eliminated, or do you think that grant requests should be kind of looked at on an individual basis?
Yeah, I think grants should be considered on an individual basis. I'm willing to put the time to review each grant thoroughly. The requesters, put some work into putting those together.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And I think we need to go in there, and give each request the due diligence that it needs. I think our community deserves it. The requester deserves it too. And I think that it should be considered on an individual basis. Now, if there are certain groups that are taking advantage of it, like let's take that on a case-by-case basis, right?
Right.
There's no way, it's kind of silly to me to set out this blanket policy that in turn penalizes other legitimate requesters.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Any ideas about where you see that EMCID could make improvements in regards to what they're already doing, where they could make a more positive impact on the community?
Yeah, I think one is just transparency. I think that there's a level of confidentiality that comes with the position, and I'm absolutely open. Would honor that absolutely. But I think transparency is important too, especially when you're dealing with taxpayer money. So I almost feel like confidentiality, transparency, and credibility, it's like a fine line between all three of those, right?
Right.
We need to maintain confidentiality where we have to, and we absolutely would honor that. But what's the big secret, right? That's why I'm running. I want to know more. What is it that's going on, and how is it that these funds, where are they going? And I'm willing to put my work in and do my part to help our community.
Yeah, it's a complex situation.
Yeah.
So do you think EMCID's done okay as far as getting information out to the public?
I struggle with finding some information sometimes. I think they can do a better job.
Yeah, I think we all struggle with information there. And I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's just part of their corporate culture, or if it's just something that maybe they're, that's what their weak spot is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think ultimately, I also, EMCID does great things.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they do a lot.
And I just don't want those great things to be hindered by a lack of credibility, right? Because the transparency isn't there.
Right.
So it's a fine balance between all three of those, but I'm willing to do what I can to help balance those three out.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that you had some scholarships for college, correct? Mm-hmm. Well, EMCID has a really aggressive scholarship program. What do you think of the scholarship program?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I actually, when I was growing up and I was going to school, I worked full-time at HEB and I went to school full-time. And I paid for school like with every single paycheck that I made. So I never really took out loans or anything like that. So scholarships are super important. I was very blessed to get a scholarship from my church at the time and from HEB as well. So I think the scholarship is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they'll continue with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's really important.
Yeah, no, it's so important.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about transparency and the balance with all that. And you've already kind of given me your thoughts on that. But in regards to their maintenance of their obligations with new businesses that they're bringing in, and a lot of times they have to maintain some secrecy to thwart their competition. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're spending a lot of money and they've got, long-term projects out there. So how do you balance that?
Yeah.
I mean, because, the public's going to want to know. They're like, okay, well, these dollars are going out and a lot's happening, but we don't know what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, is there a way that you think that information about certain projects could come out without the details coming out that would, that would satisfy the community, but also honor the obligation of confidentiality? Tough. It seems tough to me.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely tough, but at the end of the day, the board must abide by the Texas Open Meetings Act, so we need to make sure that we abide by that. And ultimately, there shouldn't be any secrets. Like everyone, voters, constituents should know that EMCID is always working to their benefit and to improve East Montgomery County. And I think, why aren't we highlighting what we're doing in the community? Mm-hmm. I think it should be showcased. We should be very proud of all of the things that we're doing. And I know there's a newsletter that comes out quarterly.
Yeah,
I think
the Insider.
Insider. So I do see that coming out. I think there's some more social media work that maybe can be done. There could be some improvements. I work in IT. You work in IT. So I think there's some improvements that can be done to the EMCID website to give it a refresh, to give it a better user experience, so that it's not you're
cumbersome.
Cumbersome, yeah. To find all of the data. I mean, it's there. Let's highlight what we're working on and what we're doing.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's important too, because that's going to dispel a lot of the rumors.
I think so too. Yeah.
So it'll help a bunch. And the interesting thing is, through this series of interviews that I've done, I've learned a lot about EMCID that I didn't really know, and a lot of the good stuff that they've done that I didn't really know.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I don't know why that information wasn't readily available. And maybe they're putting it out there, but they're doing it in methods that I'm not looking and the average person's not looking.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No.
And I think that's probably what's happening. And so maybe they just need some advice from somebody like you to help them to direct their methodology and find a better way to get to the average guy and provide the right kind of information. So there's no more rumors. And then everybody becomes more of a partner.
Yeah.
And the community's a partner. EMCID's a partner. The commissioners are partners. I mean, that's got to be the way to go.
And that's why I'm here, Hank.
Especially in this, because, I mean, the county's growing so much now that I kind of have some infrastructure fears. I'm worried that we're going to outgrow our ability to transport what we need to back and forth. And so, we've got some big work ahead of us.
Yeah. And
that's going to fall on a lot of shoulders of the EMCID board, the commissioners, and all the other public officials that deal with that. I wouldn't want to do it, so I respect you for getting involved in this and giving it a shot. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, thank you, Hank. I'm up for the challenge, and like I said, my husband and I have planted our roots here in East Montgomery County, and I want to do my part in continuing to improve our community and making it the best that it can be.
Right. And you have a small real estate business, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So my husband and I have acquired a couple of rental properties.
Okay.
And so we have a couple of rental properties, and we manage them ourselves, and we work with our tenants, so we're just kind of, building a little retail real estate empire as we go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough business too.
It's not easy, but
especially if they're rental properties.
Yeah, they're rental properties in the area. So
yeah, so a lot of what I'm trying to do is voter education. And what I'm trying to do is bring to light a lot of these issues and bring to light who the candidates are, their platform, what they're all about. Let's talk a little bit about what you think could be done better with the voters to get better information out, if you've got any ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think what you're doing, Hank, is phenomenal. Laying out a platform for candidates to come out and speak. I think one thing that we need to do too is, elections like these that are like off-season elections really turn out a low voter turnout.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in.
It's a tough, yeah. So I think it's important to spread the word. I'm doing everything that I can to reach as many neighbors and as many constituents in our community that I can, to let them know that this election is coming on May 7th, and God willing, it goes in my favor. But I'm really doing my part in making sure that everyone is aware of the panel that we're going to have on April 19th, and getting involved. I think it's important for everyone to get involved to make a difference in the community, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Cool. All right, great. Well, here we go. And this is the question I throw at everybody. I'm the average guy.
Okay.
I don't own a business. I just go to work every day, but I do vote, and I vote in every election. Haven't made a decision yet about this particular race. What are you going to say to that guy, or that female actually, to get them to vote for you?
Yeah, so Hank, no one is going to work harder for East Montgomery County than Gisela Villareal. And so first and foremost, like I said, these elections have a low turnout. So I thank the voter for coming out and voting, taking the time out of their day to vote. I let them know that, my name is Gisela Villareal, and I'm so a wife, a mother, raising 2 small children in East Montgomery County, and I want to do my part in making East Montgomery County the best place to live, work, raise a family, start a small business, and I think organizations benefit from change and new ideas. I'm not in it, I've got a busy schedule, right? So I work. I'm still working on my career. I'm raising 2 small daughters, but I'm willing to put the time in to do my part in making this the best community ever. I'm not looking for a free trip. I'm not looking to kill time because I'm retired, and I'm not looking to have my name on a voting. Like, those things don't motivate me. What motivates me is making this the best community for me and my husband to raise our girls.
Cool.
And it'd be an honor to have their vote.
I like it. Great. Fantastic. So how could voters learn a little bit more?
Yeah, so I'd love for voters to go to GiselaForEMCID.com, and that's going to redirect you to my Facebook page where you'll get to learn more about me. I'm going to be sharing some events. I look forward to meeting more neighbors and constituents on April 19th. And, I just encourage voters to reach out to me. Let me know what it is that concerns them. What can I do to help? I'd love, if they want to set up a meet and greet and host a meet and greet, I'd love to be able to do that. So that's the best way to reach out to me is through the website, GiselaForEMCID.com.
Okay.
And, I'm just having fun, Hank. This is a very fun experience for me. I love going out into the community and meeting my neighbors and building relationships, and it's fun, and God willing, May 7th goes in my favor.
There you go. Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming in, and this was a good conversation. And I think your campaign's going well, And I look forward to seeing you on April 19th.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. So, guys, there you go. April 19th. Be there, be square. It's going to be a great event. Again, it's going to be at the EMC Senior Center, and that's at Bull Salas Park in New Caney. Any questions about that event at all, just drop me a line. You know how to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. I believe all the candidates are going to be there. We're going to have a lot of other people there. We're going to have some snacks, some drinks. It's going to be great, and I look forward to doing it. And then early voting, I believe, starts April 25th, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And it runs through for about a week, and then Election Day, again, is May 7th. And make sure and cast your ballot. So, Gisela Villareal. I got it.
You got it.
It's tough, sorry. Appreciate having you in, and I look forward to seeing how your campaign progresses. All right, guys, there you have it. I'm Hank Vatt. This is Hank Think Tank, and we're gone.